Hey everyone, I'm Grant, the Rusty Autoholic guy, and welcome back to the channel. This is not a Jeep, but this also fills something that the people that know me really well, I've always loved. I am a very tall man. I am 6'5" tall, and I've always had an obsession with tiny little cars. Now, I've now owned this for about 2 months, and it's been really fun to drive. But what makes this little smart car very interesting is this isn't gas. This is a 3-cylinder turbo diesel, and it's the only reason why I bought it. It gets about 78 miles to the gallon highway. I pretty much only drive it in town. I get about 50, which is amazing. So far, I've filled up the tank 3 times. Haven't even spent $40 on diesel fuel yet because it only has like a 3.5 gallon tank. Every time I've gone to fill up, it's been like 11 bucks, and it's been really fantastic. So I'm going to get the camera and show you more about it right now. I guess the first thing I need to show you is how well I fit. Now, the surprising thing about this smart car is it's actually a very tall vehicle, which is the only reason why I fit. Doors open nice and wide. And there we go. I barely have to duck. I have plenty of headroom. Legroom is a little bit cramped, but I've owned small cars that had less legroom than I do right now. And honestly, that is one of the easiest cars for me to get out of. For instance, my mom has a Honda. I really have to duck more to get in and out of that than I do the smart car. So I really like that about this little car. So let's go on to the interior. All right, everyone, it's so small in here, it's just going to be easier to use than handheld mount. This is a very minimalistic car, which is something I like. It's the reason why I like Jeeps. Everything you need, nothing you don't, is what I like to say. One of the most peculiar things about this entire car is the shifter. And I've never seen this, so I'm not going to turn it on, but I am going to put it into run. This is neutral. That's reverse, and when you want to go into drive, you go back up into neutral and over into drive. And right now you can see it's in first gear, or you can hit the button to put it in automatic mode. And what that means is this is kind of an automatic and it's kind of a manual. And what it really is a manual-matic. There's no clutch, but this is a computer-controlled manual transmission. So a couple of odd things I have learned about this car. Now, I have a new key on the way. The rubber pads have all broken, but you have to actually unlock the car with the key before the system will actually turn on the car. I've never seen that before, so let's go for a drive. Put it in drive, click automatic, roll up that window, and you can hear it kind of go, 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 go. And that's the clutch kind of engaging. It's worse on an uphill. And that's floored. It shifts like a manual. That's the weird thing. It definitely feels like a manual transmission. Now, it does have AC. It doesn't work. I haven't looked at it yet. I haven't checked to see if there's a charge, if there's a leak in the system. That's something I plan on fixing. Oddly enough, you can get a cruise control for this car, which if I end up keeping it, which I might, I probably will end up doing. Cruise control is one of those things that I use all the time. Now, this right here is a Garmin GPS that the previous owner installed, because that is how he knows how fast he's going in miles per hour, because this car, I believe, was originally from Canada. So my instrument cluster is in kilometers per hour, which has been a bit of a learning experience to try to memorize the different speeds. Now, the interesting thing is this is a 6-speed transmission, so it has 6 forward gears plus a reverse, which kind of goes back to my whole theory with how I'm building my TJ Wrangler. Small diesel engine with a lot of gears in the transmission versus a big diesel engine with fewer gears. It's just kind of how I prefer it. Now, this is, I believe, 40 horsepower, and 75 foot-pounds of torque. I'll put it somewhere on the screen if I'm wrong. And it's not a whole lot of torque. Now, this does have a turbo, but you can't really feel it. You can't really hear it. I have started looking into all the available options for this. I don't know if there's a turbo upgrade. I know there is a tune that will net you 15 more horsepower, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you only have 40 horsepower, 15 is a lot. Oddly enough, out of every vehicle I've ever owned in my life, and I have owned well over 50 cars in my lifetime now, this is the lowest powered vehicle I've ever owned. For the longest time, my 1974 Super Beetle was the slowest thing I ever owned. Though, to be fair, this might be faster. Maybe. It actually has some really neat design features. For example, my left leg fits perfectly into this alcove that's in the door panel. It feels like that was designed for a person to rest their leg there. I really like it. Would I take this on a major highway or interstate? No. No, I would not. I remember when I bought this, my brother went with me, and we didn't quite realize just how small this vehicle was. So we took it on back roads all the way back from North Carolina back to my place in Virginia. And on, you know, the back highways and everything, this thing does fantastic. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to own. Now, in terms of practicality, you kind of have to look at this vehicle in two different ways. I have a family. I obviously cannot fit my family in this at all. However, this has turned out to be the perfect vehicle for when I need to run to the post office, I need to run to the grocery store to pick up something, I need to run to a parts store to pick up a part for something else I'm working on, because I can drive it for a month and it only takes $11 of diesel fuel. Like, it sips fuel. You know, that's the other thing I realize I haven't talked about yet. One of my favorite things about this car is so much fun to drive a slow car fast. Because you can drive this right off the rev limiter and you're not breaking the speed limit. It's just so much fun. Okay, now I think we're going to do a quick run at 55 miles per hour. Here we go. The downhill helps. And 55. It takes a while. All right, everyone, I think that's all I'm going to have for this video on this little test drive. Let me know what you think of the little 3-cylinder turbo diesel smart car. I actually really like it. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I don't know if I should keep it stock or try seeing if there's a turbo upgrade or if there are any modifications I can make to it. I would like to replace the suspension. I think it's quite worn out. Probably needs brakes. And I think the mufflers started going bad as well. And I'd like to fix air conditioning, but if I'm honest, I kind of wonder how much power the AC is going to rob out of this little diesel motor. But anyway, it's YouTube. You know what to do. Tell me what you think, and I will see y'all very soon when we get back to working on swapping in a TDI motor into my TJ Wrangler. Goodbye.